Hello, Zara Larsson.
Hello.
Zara, we're in a hotel right now, but later on you are playing the Roundhouse as part of your UK tour. That is a great venue.
It is. I played there last night for my first show, and we have the second one tonight. And it was so nice because I feel like it's quite an intimate venue, but it doesn't feel tiny, you know? And I got to see pretty much everyone's face in the crowd, which was nice. And still, enough space on stage. And it was just like a really good venue. Everybody that I've talked to say, oh, it's one of my favorite venues
It's one of my
to go
favourites.
see. Yeah, and I've never been there. I've never seen a show.
You can see wherever you're stood, you can see. And like you said, as a performer, you can see everyone. Yeah. And also the people that have played there. Jimi Hendrix has played there. Blondie have played there. Led Zeppelin's played there. How does that fit? Yeah, it's like a very historic venue.
Yeah.
So when you're on that stage, do you get a sense of that?
I just get a sense of like taking my own show wherever I'm at and just having the best time with the people I'm on stage with. And I truly feel like I achieve that. Like I do that. And I feel like the crowd, the audience is obviously such a big part of the show. But we would have the best time, like just us on stage, no matter where we would be, like on what stage we will be. So it's definitely amazing that so many iconic people have been there before me. But I also think like, okay, boom, Roundhouse this time. Where we're going next time? Maybe Ali Pali.
Love it.
And then after that, O2.
Love.
After that, Wembley Stadium.
Yes, yes. I love this about you because of the interviews that I listened to ahead of us chatting today. Yeah. You've got drive and ambition in droves. Yeah. I have too. Yeah. I am deeply ambitious. And I think sometimes women are very scared to admit that they 100%. Have huge goals and that the sky is the limit and that they will do anything to reach the goal. Not necessarily in a way going, oh, and then I'll be happy, but just in a way like, this is what I want to do. And I feel the same. I'm urgently hungry for that next step. What is it? Where are we taking this?
It's a fine line between feeling dissatisfied or unsatisfied, but also like, I'm really, really happy. I mean, we had a great show last night. I did truly enjoy to being there. I'm very present. Like I'm right here, right now. I really enjoy myself. But then also to find that balance of like, okay, I'm very happy with where my life's at now, but I also want to find that purpose. I think what I actually want is just to evolve. That's like the whole purpose, isn't it? To play there, to experience that, and then to take it. It doesn't necessarily even have to be about a bigger venue. It could also be just a purpose of like, okay, how do I want my show to be different? And I think when you do like showbiz, usually you can put on like a more specific performance, or how I would have liked my show when you have a bigger budget. And when you get a bigger budget is when you get to play like bigger venues. Just that constant like evolvement.
Yeah.
And evolution. Yeah.
But also, fuck it. I do want a bigger venue.
And what about it?
And like I want a bigger venue because I want a bigger venue.
Exactly.
I think we should be able to say this stuff out loud because I often think if I'm doing something I love and I'm naturally I think I feel very lucky that I am.
It's in me.
I was born driven.
Yes.
Like I've got that drive in me.
It's a personality trait.
Correct. And I think you can't butt against that. Like it's there. Mm-hmm. And I think we're scared to say that. But I think if I'm doing something I love and I've got this drive, why can't I say out loud, I want to do this to the best of my capabilities? What is wrong with that? I think it's really frowned upon.
And you're right about the fact that I feel like a lot of women, when they say that, or younger girls, it's just maybe not so much right now, where I hope less than it was, a couple of decades ago. But it's still, people raise their eyebrows a little bit. Like, oh, girl, like, really? Oh, well, you should really, like.
Yeah. Or be a bit more sensible about things, or realistic. Or like, I've got kids, so it's like even more frowned upon. But I want to be a great mum and do what I'm doing. And I think.
Oh, you feel like people are like, well, you're a mom now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think there's judgment on all of it. But I think there should be more space for us to go, I want to be the best I can possibly be at this. And I've got big goals and I won't necessarily be satisfied unless I tick some of them off the list.
Absolutely.
I think it's fine, more than fine.
And I do think once I would reach that goal, I would myself probably have another one.
Correct.
And then another one. You just keep moving. And that's why I'm saying, like, even though I won't maybe feel, I hope I won't feel like I'm not satisfied, because that's also what I feel like inside of me. But I will always want to go further because that's just who I am as a person. I would like to evolve. Because let's say I play the Wembley Stadium, I don't think I would feel like, boom, I've done it. Like in my head, I would, where am I going after that? You know, am I moving into this type of business, or am I doing something else? Like, have your personal goals always changing, or like just to get you places, like evolve as a person and as an artist. I think that's like really what I want to do, because I feel like I am a competitive person. And you probably are too.
Yeah, for sure.
So why would I want to do something that's not like the best?
Correct. And also, it's not just about, I want more, I want the venue to be bigger. I mean, that can be the benchmark, that can be the goal. But I think it's about trying to realise your true potential and being curious about this. Like, well, what is it?
Yeah.
And this is for all of us. What am I capable of in any capacity? We don't actually know.
Yeah.
So I actually get a real thrill out of pushing those boundaries and testing it, going, well, I could set myself that goal and see if I could do it. That could be fun or an interesting experience. And like you say, evolve and learn something about myself. I think that's the feeling, isn't it? That you want to push your own boundaries a bit.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, obviously, a show at the Wembley Stadium would look different to the show at Roundhouse. Even though I'm still, you know, singing my songs, it's like the full production around it, the whole experience. It would obviously be different. And yeah, I would very much like to see what that would look like.
Manifesting it, making it happen. And it's also interesting because the older you get, the harder it is to experience newness.
Yeah.
And newness is obviously one of the greatest feelings when it's a positive
I miss
new.
that sometimes.
Well, I was looking in the paper the other day and there was that gorgeous picture that you'd recreated the moment that you had won the Sweden's Got Talent competition, and you were 10 years old. And it's a beautiful picture where at 10 you're just full of glee and your arms in the air and it's just all new and exciting, and you've recreated it down the line, the exact picture. It was so clever.
Yeah.
And you describe that moment as wee. Yeah. That like lovely. And we've all had one of those moments.
Just pure happiness.
Pure happiness and euphoria.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, I had a similar start to a career to you.
Yeah.
When I was 15, I was on a presenter TV show over here, Disney Club, and I won a competition to become a presenter. 80,000 years later, I'm somehow still doing it. But I don't think I've ever felt that euphoria in my career. I have in my real life, but in my career since than the day that I found out I'd won the competition to get the gig. And you think that everything's going to get better from there, but it doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's a big difference between your personal like evolution, or what you feel like inside of you and how present you are at this very moment, and your milestones in your career. Because even though you might move on to like bigger and better things, it's not giving you that sense of newness. Like you said, that excitement. I feel like once you're in it and it's around you, it's just kind of there. Everything is relative, isn't it?
Yeah.
So something that, like, I always think about that one time I posted the cover for my first ever single. And I remember, which is so easy now to compare it to real numbers and statistics with likes on Instagram and like streams on Spotify and that. But I remember my picture got like 4,000 likes. And I was just like, I would not shut up about it. My whole family, the whole night, we were just like, I can't believe it. Like, imagine how many people this is who liked my picture for my song that's coming out. You know, it was just like, now, if my picture would have gotten 4,000 likes, I would have been like,
crying in the toilet.
Delete. Like, when I was a flop, you know what I mean? You just constantly like move the goalposts.
Exactly.
But yeah, I do miss that feeling of coming in and just, because you also realize growing up, first of all, everyone's just people. Even the people you look up to.
That myth goes quite quickly, doesn't it? You meet a few famous people and go, Oh God, they're just like normal people.
You
That's
know,
disappointing.
and it doesn't even have to be that they're rude or that they're
no.
not.
They're just normal.
They're just normal, aren't we all? We're just people,
Yes, of
you know.
course.
And then you have that image or that picture of like almost, yeah, like an idol. You godify someone or really put them on a pedestal, and then you realize, oh.
Yeah.
They're just like me.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's so boring in a way.
Yeah.
You know? But also kind of nice. But it really demystifies everything that you do. And yeah, growing up and realizing that all of us are quite similar. In that sense, everyone you meet, no matter what you do, we're quite similar or from different backgrounds. It's just like, I believe that I can meet anyone and we can have a connection. Which is a really beautiful thing. But talking about that, like the superstardom, that excitement in the industry, in your career, it does fade away a little bit. And then you got to find like, okay, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Because I want to see like a progression and I just want to be the best version that I could be of myself, I think, in a way.
Yeah. And I think you then learn to get the enjoyment from different areas, because I think what we're dealing with in showbiz land is that all the emphasis is on the feedback and how much someone likes something or streams something or is engaging with whatever that thing is. But actually, I think what we all have to do is learn that the enjoyment has to come from the doing bit.
Totally.
So for me, you know, it might be prepping one of these episodes or writing. Like the enjoyment has to come from that rather than this many people like
you
this or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, how are people reacting to
what
it?
is that for you? Like, where's the bit where you can really harness that joy and go, no one can take that from me?
You are so right about that, actually. And I think as I grow older, why I'm now, like when I started out, I was not writing my songs. I was not really involved creatively. I also got signed very young. So besides like the Swedish Got Talent part, which I won when I was 10, I didn't get signed until I was 14, which is still very young. But at that point, I was just like, put me on a stage, get me a few songs, like let me perform, let me sing. I'm an entertainer at heart. I want people to have a good time. The rooms that I'm in, the people I hang, like I am gonna make sure that everyone's like, like I'm such a jester, you know what I mean? So at that point, just put me on the stage. And as I grew older, I was like, maybe I want to write my songs. I want to be a part of that, like creating it. And then it became, well, I want to direct my videos. I want to be part of that. And now it's like I own my songs and have my own record label. And I have like, I do take a lot more, it's a lot more fun to be creatively involved and actually make what I do rather than just walk up on stage, which is still my favorite thing to do. Like performing live, having a show is number one, but it's everything around it that makes it like feel like I'm doing it. Like it's me, you know, it's not someone telling me what to do or I have great people around me, but it's just that the making of it, I feel like is way more important to me now than just performing it and receiving the love from the people who are appreciating it.
And that requires trust in yourself, because when you're the boss and you're making decisions for you, you've got to trust that you know what's best for you, because you know,
and that was hard in the beginning.
Yeah, of course, because before, you know, you can go, oh well, they got it wrong, so that's why this didn't work or whatever. But now it's you,
it's me, and it's kind of always been me. I mean, I've always been the face of my songs and my performances and my videos, but I think I didn't really understand that truly, or even if I did, it would just be something that I would think, oh well, you know, like I obviously, you know, there's like a professional choreographer to this, so they must know like the good steps. I wouldn't even question it. Like, do I like this choreo? I would just walk into a room and it would be like, this is your choreo. And I'd be like, oh, okay. I don't really like it, but I can't say it. And I was like, of course I can. Or even the simplest things, like a makeup, like sit in a makeup chair for a morning sofa program. And they do my makeup in a way that I'm like, I didn't like that, then I will go in and change it myself in the bathroom rather than like
I've done that so many times.
rather than like say, hey, excuse me, could you
I'll
please?
just go, I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
You've
It's
done
beautiful.
It exactly how I like it. And then you go to the toilet and go, shit. Yes. Wiping it off with a tissue. So I've been there.
Yeah, and now I'm like, I actually, it's fine just telling people, ooh, I think I want it a bit more like this.
So cringe though, isn't it? It's so hard.
I
It's
know,
so
but you know
hard.
what?
But we've got to do it.
I've never met anyone who is not happy to change it.
Of course, they're professionals.
You know what I
They're
mean?
Like, yeah, we'll do it.
We'll do it.
Yeah.
I want you to be happy. I want you to be cool with it. And I think it was just something in me mentally that thought that people would get really upset at me saying how I wanted things. When in reality, people don't. And even if they do, fuck them. You know? Like, it's your face. Or like, it's your songs. Or like, you are going to be the one who have to...
And you're going to say it with kindness.
Of course,
and yeah,
of course.
Exactly. So they
But-
can't take offense.
No, like you would just say, oh, actually, this is probably how I would like my eyeliner to be.
Yeah, no biggie.
As an
The world's
example,
still turning.
You
yeah.
know?
The
Yeah.
world, but we get so nervous. I talk for a living, and I still, be like I could be in a taxi and they're playing a radio station that's just making me feel agitated before I go to
Right.
work, and I'll
Yeah.
persevere and just sit there gripping the arm of the chair rather than going, "Excuse me, do you mind turning it down? I'm too scared to." What's I'm a grown woman.
I
What's
can't
wrong with
see
me?
that.
I know it's pathetic.
What?
It's so
Are you really
sad.
like that?
Yeah, I'm really like that. It's really
What?
ridiculous because I don't want to
That's not
upset
the energy
anyone.
you're giving me.
No, my energy is like I know what I'm doing and I can I'm saying what I want to say, but
But
I
you're
don't
like a
wanna
people
upset-
pleaser.
I'm a people pleaser.
Yeah,
I've got
yeah.
much better because I've had to over the years, especially at work. I'm much better. I'm much better at this stuff in my career than I am in my real life.
Right.
Real life is where it gets
Yeah.
complicated.
Yeah.
In work, there's sort of structure and rules,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
this is how
yeah.
we're doing it, and everyone's doing their thing. So this is how it's going to work. But in
And
real
I think
life,
the
it's
roles
messy.
are very
Yes.
clear
Yeah.
in your career, your work. But then in real life, you don't have these like titles or people you know.
And they might go away and go, "Oh God, she's a right bitch. I
Right.
always thought she was." And then I'm dealing with that, and I can't sleep. It spirals on. It's not that bad, but I know what you mean. It's
feel
it's
that.
so good, and also the fact that you now own the rights to your songs. I mean,
Yeah.
we have to sort of clarify that is exceptionally rare
It
in this
is.
industry.
No, it really is. And it's sad that it's so rare.
Yeah.
Because it should be something that more artists should have control and power over their songs and what they put out. And even the songs, like I said, when I started out, like I didn't write my own songs. I've always been very involved in what I want to release, what I don't want to release. I've been super vocal about that. And I've been very much like A&Ring myself in a way. But even so, like I didn't write Lush Life. And that song to me is such a strong, it's such a big identity of me as an artist. So to just know that it's safe with me and I can kind of do whatever I want with it. And it's not going to go on and live its own life because some investment capital or company took hold of it and now, they were going to sell it to this person or this commercial or whatever, And also in the future, the fact that I am now also, like I've said, I've always been the face of like what I do, but now I really am responsible for what I do, just economically and in a different position where I can maybe talk a little different when it comes to like negotiating with labels or, I'm still in a partnership with Sony Music. They're licensing my songs and I'm at Epic. But for the future, it's just very much down to me. I can't really even mentally blame somebody else. Oh, well, they wanted to do that or they want it's really up to me now,
I mean, it's a really smart move and it's really brilliant that that's the direction
Yeah.
that you're taking yourself and it's fantastic. And I'm sure you feel proud about that. You're still at a very young age to have made these decisions. But if you were to rewind and go back to 14, is there anything you would warn yourself of walking into that industry, knowing a bit from winning the competition at 10, but really,
Not really.
diving into the
Yeah.
industry for the first time?
Yeah.
Very excited. We're all at 14, impressionable, naive.
Yeah.
Would you go back and say, just watch out for this?
Honestly, I have been so well taken care of. And I think it's because my mom was always with me up until like 20, probably. So if I was 14 now, like she would sit right there.
Yeah, that's
you know what
so
I mean?
good.
Like she would be with me everywhere. And not only her, but like my manager or the people when I got signed at 14, I got signed to an indie label in Stockholm. And it wasn't that big machine of people just throwing me in and like making me do these songs that I had no control over or whatever. Like it was a small company, and the people there really also listened to me. Like my first song that I ever released was a song that nobody really thought was the good choice. Like it was a ballad, which I'm not really known for these days, but it was a ballad, no drums. It was super calm. No one was kind of doing that back in the days, and especially not in Sweden. I just thought, I really, really, really want to release this song. Like, I love this song. And they just said, okay, we don't, but we're going to support you with that. And they did, and it went really, really well in Sweden. And they've just always backed me up. So coming from that and then into, you know, the big labels in America, like here in the UK or in the rest of the world, it gave me such a feeling of secureness, and that I could fall back on something because I knew I wasn't completely alone. I think being signed really early on and being signed maybe directly to these big labels, because not only are you very young, but you're also one of so many artists on a label. And if they want to spend a lot of money and efforts and time into you, then you might feel like maybe I have to do this, even though I don't want to do this specific song, or I don't. But I always felt like, fuck you guys. I have my guys back in Sweden.
Yeah.
And we released songs that you didn't like at first. And it went really well in Europe. And now you like it. Like, we did that on many songs. And then when they were like, oh, no, this is actually a really cool song because it was a hit back here in Europe. Like, we've always loved this.
Yeah.
Like, no, you haven't, but that's all good. And I wonder,
cheeky bullshitters.
Yeah, and I wonder what my life would have looked like if I didn't have that. But I've always said I'm actually so thankful for just the people around me, for the people that I am still working with and have worked with. I've definitely had some weirdos in there. There are always in every industry, some very weird, strange people, especially in showbiz, though, I would say. Or they just get away with a lot of stuff.
Yep.
But I feel like times are changing. You know, things that were not acceptable or were acceptable back in the days are not acceptable today.
Yeah.
And you know it, you know. But if I could change anything, honestly, it would honestly just be, don't take it so seriously. Like, I have felt so much pressure on like doing well, living up to people's expectations of me, or things that I've thought people had expectations of me for or of. And just like, it's not that deep. Just release more music, like create more.
What a great attitude to have, because I think having skirted around the music industry for many, many years, it's taken very seriously, and you're sort of
like,
going,
it's music.
Is it that serious? Aren't you just putting a song out? And everyone's sort of a bit worried and a bit anxious, pussyfooting around, and you're going, I think it's just a song. And I think this is like brilliant, and you're really talented and skillful, whoever you are. Yeah. But I think this is not that serious.
And even for people who do, you know, take it very, very seriously, and I respect that, and you know, they really, they have a concept and they have something they want to say, and music could definitely be like life-changing for people. It's political. It could be like so many things. It is music, you know, at the end of the day. And it could bring people together, or it could start debates, or it could start like all these different things. But how are you even gonna do anything if you are not even releasing music because you're so scared of the fact that it feels this big and serious?
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. I think you're absolutely right. Music can be a very serious thing in terms of what it can do and the momentum it can create and the beautiful collectives that it can create. But the ecosystem it lives in and like how it's released doesn't need to be
absolutely not
that serious. It's like any job in showbiz. It's entertainment, and we've got to I have to remind myself of that because I can get so stressed about things.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I've got to interview this scary person and oh shit, I've got to...
Right.
And it's like, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. And I think we do... And I think, you know, what doesn't help is the fact that there's this new idea of perfection. And, you know, it's probably driven from social media, which has good and bad sides like everything. But there is this concept that everything's got to turn up perfect because otherwise someone's going to pull it apart or find the flaws or go, well, that's wrong. I mean, I think that is a genuine pressure.
It is. It's definitely, it exists. Like, I felt it. But then also, I wonder sometimes, like, why do I even need to entertain that side of, let's say, the internet or TikTok or Twitter, whatever it is? Because I feel like a lot of people who are the ones who are judging others releasing music or following their dreams, releasing programs and show, whatever, they're not even in the arena. I think they judge people because they're so scared of, if I would do this, other people would judge me. So it's like that weird, like, downward spiral of, like, you know, I'm not, because anyone who's actually in the arena, I feel like, are not the judgy people.
No, you understand
the
complexities
that you understand
of
that it could be scary.
Yeah.
And that it's also not that deep sometimes.
Yeah.
But the people who are watching it, who point fingers or say whatever, really, in reality, why would you actually listen to those people?
Yeah.
You know?
Do you know what? I read something, I don't know where it was the other day, that you'd said about this new album in particular, that you were thinking, God, should I do a concept album that's talking about heartbreak? But you were like, actually, I'm in a really good place. Let's just have a fucking great time.
Yeah. And pop
How
is
good's
great
that?
for that.
Of course it is.
I feel like
we
you need
that.
music for that.
I need
Yeah.
that. I want to hear good stuff that makes me just feel happy and I want to dance about too.
Yeah.
It's really important.
It is.
I mean, that's a great level of confidence that you've clearly naturally got, or maybe your mum's helped you to cultivate that, where you've gone, no, I'm still going to do what feels right to me. I'm just glad that your mum was around so much in the early days. I think that's really important.
Me too.
Did she worry about what you were getting yourself into?
Well, I think because she was always around, she kind of knew what was up. But she was definitely scared of, like, me being in a situation that didn't feel good. Or, you know, even being young, like, I've been in so many rooms as, like, a teenager, 16, 17, 18-year-old. And it's, like, me and 10 other guys. And they're like, my dick is so big, like, literally and figuratively. Like, it's just been like situations where I'm like, I don't feel comfortable in this room. Like, why am I here? And in no other situation outside of, like, music industry or the showbiz would a teenage girl sit in a room with 10 other grown men. Like, there's no scenario where that's not, like, inappropriate in a way. And they would, like, you know, there's a lot of alcohol, there's a lot of drugs around, there's just, like, they would bring in girls from, like, dancers, and it was just like, oh.
Wow. You know? And there's your mum, like, hi.
It was just,
Thank
you know,
God your mum was there.
honestly, I've definitely, like, left spaces where I'm like, I don't see why I should be here right now. And even if she's not there, someone is there from my team. But I can only imagine, like, what would, and I'm not a person who says no to a lot of things either, and especially not teenage me. Like, I will be down for anything because I want to be, like, a fun, cool girl too. So I could only imagine, like, if she weren't there or if the people that I trust were not there, like, what would I have done? You know?
Wow. Do you know what? I think that's incredible for you to have that hindsight as well.
It's definitely a hindsight thing.
Yeah.
But even if in that situation, it's just like, this is weird.
But I think it's actually stood you in such good stead because now, what you now 26?
Yeah.
You're still young and you are going down an incredibly sensible route in terms of your choices and how you want to do business. And I was an absolute knob at 26. Like, absolutely. I was working. But I was just, like.
When I'm not sitting in a nice dress with the mic.
No, but I think, I think your mum being there has had a hugely brilliant impact on.
And even, like, I remember I was like, Mom, like, you don't even have to be here anymore. Like, get away from me. But now I'm like, thank God, you know.
Thank God. Oh my God, your mum's brilliant.
Yeah.
She's so brilliant.
Yeah.
And how have you found it moving into this global fame and global success? Because I know in Sweden things work slightly differently. There
Yeah.
isn't that kind of celebrity culture. The
No.
philosophy is sort of based more on equality and that everyone's the same. I've got friends that live in Sweden. I've never been. I'm going this year.
Oh, nice.
I'm going in November for the
Nice.
first time and I can't wait.
November.
Yeah, it's ages away. Yeah.
It's also the worst time to go.
I'm going to like a very snowy northern bit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Okay,
to
okay.
go hiking.
Okay, love that.
That's a kind of thing I like
Love
to do, is
that.
hike. So that's going to be gorgeous. But I know that it's a different flavour of how
Yeah.
you view celebrity. And it's not like, I suppose, especially in the States, that sort of worship of celebrities and there being such furore around it. And even in the UK, celebrity sort of culture is
paparazzi
there and the
culture.
paps. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how
We
have
don't have
you
that.
how have you dealt with that?
We don't have that at all, actually. And it's something that I'm very thankful for. I would say even like going out, it's weird because it depends on where I am in the world, but I could see quite instantly like, you know who I am. And it doesn't even have to be like a super fan. It's just you see someone and you can see like, you have met me on TV or in your feed or wherever, but I haven't met you. So that meeting sometimes could be a little strange, because it's just like, am I getting you as a person, or am I getting like a performance of you who you think that I want you to be, you know?
So is that hard, do you think, to find people that are relaxed around you?
I don't know, because I think that everyone's so nice. I think everyone's great. And then my friends would be like, well, they were nice to me. You know, and I'm like, but they were so nice.
Yeah. People are pretty fickle about these things.
Yeah. And I mean, I I remember actually when I first got signed, and I said, but what if, you know, it was a concern of mine that I had, like, what if I have a really hard time like meeting friends, or just, you know, like if I'm in LA a lot, how will I meet people? Because you won't be going to school, you won't do any like activities where you meet people. How will I meet these people? And the guy at the label, he was like, no, don't worry about it, because when you're famous, everybody want to be your friend.
Great.
And he was
Brilliant. Loads of
and
fake
he
friends.
was super serious about it. He was like, no. There's no worries in that. When you're famous, everybody want to be your friend. And it's just like, well, they might be, but are they actually my friends?
Yeah, I want to kind of mix on with some connection, like a genuine friendship here.
Yeah,
How
but
bizarre.
I think I do like people, and I think you do realize in time like who are your real friends and not. But in the sense of going outside, like living my life, it's been super normal. And maybe that is a Swedish thing, because sometimes I've definitely been in situations in America where someone is like, oh my gosh, can I please take a picture with you? And I said, yeah, of course. And then someone else wants to take a picture, and then someone else also wants to take a picture, because once they see one person walking up, it's like and then all of a sudden this little line has been created. And I'm like, do you know who I am? And they're like, no, but we
can I have a
saw
picture?
people like take pictures with you. It's
mental.
Yeah, it's definitely special. But jantelagen in Sweden, which is that like the law of no one is better than you, but also no one's worse than you. So it's just very socialistic, like everyone's the same, on good and bad terms. I think it's kind of nice, actually.
I think Sweden gets so many things right.
Yeah.
I look to Sweden and go, they're nailing it in all like how you do schooling and how you deal with even when kids are growing up and there's no like blue for boys, pink for girls. Like all my Swedish friends are like, that is not a thing. And it
Right.
just feels like Sweden get a lot right.
Yeah, I had a really good time growing up there, I would say. I'm very lucky to have my childhood and still my base, even though, you know, I travel the world. I live out of my suitcase pretty much, a lot here in London, a lot in LA, but like Sweden's like, that's home, you know. And I feel very lucky to have grown up there and have a strong, like, yeah, just friends and family. But I think I've also realized that I've not been in that position or at that level where it's like I can't go anywhere. There's
Yeah.
paparazzis, there's people following me. So I can't speak for that life. But as I've pictured like being an artist, even from when I was like, for as far as I can remember, having that, I've always seen it as a part of it. It's like you're playing a role a little bit. So it's like a performance. You go on stage and you perform, and you go out and you have someone like following your fans or paparazzi, whatever it is, and that is also a performance. And you just have to be down to play that part for a big chunk of your life. And then when you're not that, and you are with your real friends, or you're at dinner, or you're whatever, that could be like the real you. But everything else, it's a performance. And I've always felt like I'm fine with that. As long, like I said, it's not been that extreme. And I do feel like with the rise of like social media and everybody have their own phones, that like mob, like following might not be the same right now.
Yeah.
But people might, take their little sneaky pics and that. But you're on a stage that's flat. Basically, that's the ground. But it's still like, I don't know.
So when you're not on stage, because, from reading the interviews that you've done, it's like you're born to be on stage. Like, you are a performer. You came out as a performer and you absolutely love it. That is your safe space. That is where you can just be free and be you. What do you do to counterbalance that? Do you need time where you are in solitude, or you do quiet activities? Like, do you need to counterbalance it?
I don't know, actually. The thing is, I do those things. So when I'm not on stage, let's say I had 2 days off, I didn't move. Like, I barely went up to like open the door for room service. I didn't move. Like, I'm serious when I say like I didn't step a foot outside of my hotel room.
Step count, 0.
0. Like, barely. Like, I have to go to the bathroom. So I think I do that just naturally.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like, if I had people around me, if I had, my boyfriend's here right now, I have another friend who's here, I would go out and do things. But naturally, I am actually quite lazy, which is weird.
But do you think you must be an extrovert, no? Because I am drained by human interaction.
Oh, no. That gives me so much energy.
Really?
Like, I would actually prefer to do a lot of like interviews or press or whatever after my show, because then I feel like super recharged.
Wow.
And I'm just like high energy. I had a good time on stage. I've seen a lot of people in the crowd. Let's go. Like, the more people I'm with, the more energized I feel.
I'm so fascinated by it, because I've done 2 of these today.
Yeah.
And I will need to go and sit in a dark room on my own for like an hour. I can't, because I've got kids, but I get out-peopled. I'm like, I've seen too many people, and it's too many words and information, and I'm trying to process the whole thing.
Right.
And that takes me ages. So I think it's so fascinating. I'm envious.
I could go for 24 hours straight.
Wow.
And just blah, 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 blah.
I love it. But I think you'd have to do the schedule that you guys do as pop stars, and the touring and the interviews.
But then when it turns off, it's off.
Yeah, so what happens then? Do you miss it? Do you crave it? Do you feel down?
I do think laying in a bed for 2 days. 2 days is fine. But when it gets to 3, 4, that's why I was really struggling in the pandemic, because I feel like I didn't have anything planned and scheduled. I mean, everything was so up in the air. Maybe it will get back to normal next month, or maybe next month, or maybe next month. If they just would have told us, like, it's going to be like this for 2 years, it would have been easier to manage. But I feel like I don't feel good, and I don't think anyone feels good being isolated in a small space for more than 48 hours. No. You need to just like take a walk, at least, like see the sky, get a little wind in your face. But I find it really, really hard to find the motivation to do that myself. That's why I think I need to just surround myself with people who are like, okay, we're going to go and do this. Then I have something to do. But if I have a day with nothing scheduled, I find it almost physically impossible to go and do something. Like, I need something to be in my schedule, because I can't plan it. Like, I can't do it. I am such a baby when it comes to that. And then I feel really bad after 4 to
Yeah.
8 hours. I feel like, ooh, actually, I'm a little anxious.
Yeah.
Like, I should have gone down to the gym, but it's not in my schedule, so.
Wow, we are the opposite in every
Really?
way. Like, if I've got a free day, I'm working out a little schedule for myself. I'm doing some writing. I might want to go for a walk, go for a run. Like, I could fill a day.
Would you feel like if you're not productive, would you feel like
terrible if I'm not productive? Terrible.
That's my sister.
But like, even if it was 2 hours, I'd feel awful for not having used it to create something or do something, which is to my detriment. Yeah, because I do need time to be idle, and I'm terrible at it. At it. But I did see a video of you getting in very cold water back at home.
Yeah.
Is that a regular thing or something you'll
try
try and
to do it.
Yeah, I love doing that.
It.
We're the same on that count then.
Yeah.
I love a bit of cold water.
I don't love it.
No, none of us love it. That's the wrong word.
But it makes you feel really good afterwards. It does. Because it shocks your system a little bit. And that's why I would need, maybe I would feel really good, if I just go up and I take a super cold shower, even just that for the rest of the day. You've done something to your nervous system. And you've done something to like put yourself out of that very, very comfortable bed or box or whatever. Just a little like, okay, you've pushed yourself to do something today.
Yeah.
I did not take cold showers.
Hey, I wouldn't give yourself a hard time. You're in the middle of a tour. You've got quite a lot going on.
Yeah.
I wouldn't worry too much.
Yeah.
So how will things go today? So you're going to go to the venue. You'll do the gig. After the gig, can you sleep? Like, how do you wind down and process being on stage in front of thousands of people?
Yeah, because I feel a little razzed up.
Yeah,
I feel like, whoa, like, let's go party.
Yeah.
So I might, but I do like I'm not a super big party girl because I like a conversation and I really like a one-on-one, with my friends. But tonight I might go for like a little cheers because we are in London and this show is like the friends and family one. So it'll be a lot of people there that I know. But afterwards, I try to, I go back to my room. I have a little shower. And the thing with me though is I find it very relaxing and comfortable, like being by myself, but I don't like go to sleep. I've never liked it.
Really? Going to sleep?
I don't like a day ending. It's so sad to me.
Wow, we are the opposite person.
Really?
I can't fucking wait.
Really?
Well, can I go to bed at 8 so
I
this
might
day's
be
over?
excited to be like, ooh, I'm back in my room. It feels cozy, and now my nighttime starts, and that's so exciting to me. It's like I'm gonna scroll, I'm gonna do a little playlist.
Wow.
I might be on Pinterest. I'm gonna like, how do I want to renovate my kitchen? How do I that's when it starts to me. Oh, I make lists.
Oh wow.
I'll be like, oh, it's so amazing.
Oh no, I'm done. I'm like, oh, thank God it's dark. I can go to bed.
Wow.
Yeah, I love it.
Sometimes I have to trick myself when I go to sleep, like, okay, this is not a good night. This is just a nap. Yeah. And that's when I can fall asleep.
How interesting. I find this fascinating. And how do you feel ahead of the show? Are there nerves or do you feel completely at ease walking onto a stage like that?
It depends on. I think I would feel a little bit more like excited. Not so nervous. I really don't like being nervous at all. But I feel excited. And I feel excited because now today it's, like I said, it's for the friends and family. And people I know, but I feel like on TV, I do get a little nervous because it's just like a very short amount of time usually.
It's the pressure,
it's the pressure. You sing one song, it has to be perfect. And it's online, forever for people to see. But for shows, it's more about like we're having fun. It's really a moment for everyone in that room. And I just want to have a good time. And I feel like I always do. So for that, I'm not so nervous. I feel like also I know the show so well. And everyone on stage is just vibing, like really having a good time. So I don't have any rituals that I'm doing. I barely warm up, to be honest.
Just get out there and do it.
You just get out there and do it. Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Well, look, I hope you have an amazing show tonight in that beautiful historic venue. And just good luck with the rest of your brilliant year that you've got planned. It's been so nice chatting to you.
It was so nice. Thank you for having me.